Wise person once said, enjoy it while it lasts. I think it was Xenia on a top. All right, what's up, everybody? So this is my reaction to season 2 of MobLand, starring Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, and it looks just on par with season 1. I really love season 1. I love anything from the Guy Ritchie, as they say in the trailer, underworld, the underworld of Guy Ritchie. And I just love how he does British crime dramas, or however you want to refer to it as. But they are gangster films, but through the very particular lens of Britain. And so that I particularly love because it does add this kind of unique sense to it. We don't have anything about the Russian mafia, or we got one movie about the Italian mafia with The Departed. And he's done a bunch of these, throughout his career, these British crime dramas. Before, of course, it's always been, the Italian mafia, but I like a slightly different take on it. And of course, again, we're following Tom Hardy, who is basically the protector of, the Harrigan dynasty, the Harrigan crime family, led by Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren. And whereas last season we left off of things were kind of in shambles, and it looks like now things are, coalescing together. So, they're still together, tentatively it looks like, because now it's like the sharks are circling all around. We have a different crime family, which was hinted at last season as Tom Hardy made the fateful phone call for help, so that way Pierce Brosnan's daughter wasn't going to meet a very bloody and painful demise. But it came at a cost. And so now we're dealing with all of that. And it looks really fun, looks interesting. At the same time, I personally can't help but continue thinking about the news that came out not too long ago that Tom Hardy was fired from MobLand, by the producers. And so it's like almost a swan song, because they did finish out the season, and then as they were putting it all together to be released very soon, they were like, screw this, I don't want to deal with Tom Hardy for another season. And there are a lot of different reports as to why that is, why that isn't. At the end of the day, at least we have this second season to just kind of enjoy the story, enjoy the performances, the character dynamics between everybody. And of course, it's always impressive to me to see Tom Hardy, he's not necessarily like a spring chicken or anything like that. He's been around the block a lot in Hollywood. But when you put him up next to titans like Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren, and you see him just hold his own, I forgot to mention Paddy Considine up in there, who's also just great actor and a great character. And how all of these people are going to try and survive, not only being targets for everybody else, but them not killing each other. So it's going to see how they juggle both things, because it's hinted at as well in one particular moment in the trailer of some kind of family betrayal by the daughter. And then the son also says something that is incredibly provocative about his father. So there's a lot going on, and I'm here for it. I can't wait. Anyways, those are my thoughts. What about you guys? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, give me a follow, and I'll see you guys next time.